up, guys, and welcome to another edition for Wrestling Pulse on Corner Quad. I am J-Man. This edition of the Pulse, we give you guys our WWE Extreme Rules 2015 preview coming this Sunday on the WWE Network. Need to first get out just so we could plug our own shit. If you guys are not or haven't watched our last video, go check that out. We just put up literally like 2 days ago our Pulse 10 wrestling match types. Obviously coming into Extreme Rules with all the different gimmick matches and stuff like that, so go check that out. Just put that out. Should be the bottom video if you're on our main page. So go do that. Yeah, this pay-per-view, coming off, like I said, in my opinion, quite possibly one of the top 5 best WrestleManias of all time. One trend that we normally see after WrestleMania, the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, is always really good stuff. You usually, before when it was Backlash, usually got gimmick matches added to matches that happened at WrestleMania, and usually delivered, and sometimes even topped the WrestleMania quality stuff. And over the span of around 2010 to 2012, 2013, somewhere around there, Extreme Rules was always better than WrestleMania. And it always topped WrestleMania. It was always more an entertaining, enjoyable show. I remember the total difference in 2012 it was. That's the one where Lesnar came back after WrestleMania 28, the night after that. WrestleMania 28 was one of the most hyped up WrestleManias ever, and I remember if you go back and watch our preview for it, we're creaming all over ourselves for it, and then the review was just kind of still an okay show, but definitely didn't deliver to what we thought. But that Extreme Rules just blew it out of the water, 2012 Extreme Rules. So some of the cases, the pay-per-view after WrestleMania, sometimes almost tops WrestleMania. That won't be happening here. Not at all.
Some parts, man.
Some parts could be good. Again, it's a typical, B pay-per-view WWE where, some stuff can deliver and some stuff is just going to be shit. And overall, it's just kind of feel like, okay. But, we'll see what we get out of it. Again, a lot of people were shitting on WrestleMania, and we were some of the few that saw potential there. And definitely delivered. Go back and watch the preview. We're not bullshitting you. A lot of people were shitting all over that WrestleMania, and we were like, there could be some stuff that could deliver here, and could be some really good stuff. And that's
I think I called a couple things.
You did. You actually called the main event of this pay-per-view as well, weeks in advance. So we'll go ahead and get to this.
I should go to Vegas.
You should, man. We have the pre-show for the WWE Tag Titles. We have champion Cesaro and Tyson Kidd going up against the fucking New Day. The New Day defeating the Lucha Dragons, actually last night on Raw. We're doing this fucking preview, one of the earliest ones we've ever done on a Tuesday.
You make these bags bigger.
I know, dude. They're pretty good, aren't they? I told you. They actually have bigger bags, but those are just like the little ones.
Cheap ones?
Right. Having the fucking New Day defeat the Lucha
Dragons.
Dragons.
This is before SmackDown.
Yeah, this is before SmackDown's even taped. That's way in advance for us. The New Day defeating the Lucha Dragons on Raw last night to get a fucking title shot here. Just god damn it. Lucha Dragons are on fire coming out of NXT, coming onto the main roster. People fell in love with them. Duh. That's exactly the kind of stuff that with the electric type stuff they would put on and the chemistry that they have in a very short span of time. An entertaining tag team. Very fun. Very enjoyable to watch and put on great matches. And a possibility of a Cesaro and Tyson Kidd match with those two. Holy shit, that would be amazing. That would be some really great stuff and some stuff that we would enjoy to see in the tag division that's kind of been lackluster lately. But the fucking New Day and, doing the, everybody's against us. Well, let's just turn him heel. Oh, that's such a genius idea. Well, no, it's not everybody's turning against him. It's just everybody doesn't give a flying fuck about the New Day. They just don't give a shit. They want to see Kofi Kingston. That's who we want to see. We want to see a guy who's talented as shit being buried in this terrible ass fucking group that they got going on. Fucking horrible. Just the most boring, bland, just fucking blah shit you could possibly imagine. Cesaro and Kidd, starting to like a lot more of what they're doing here. Obviously love the connection of the two with the talent that is involved, but finally seeming like a formidable tag team. They're fine, you got the matching shirts, which does a lot. And I know a lot of people out there are probably seeing the same thing where it just seems like, man, they're seeming like they're clicking more. It's the matching shit. You start to look like you're together and should be together, then you look like a legit tag team. That's the thing they're doing here. So you got that going on. The gimmicks kind of get behind them where they're just kind of like not give a shit, like kind of cocky heels, but yet a lot of people are starting to enjoy what they're doing. So it kind of that enjoyable heels for the casual fans, but for us, they're just entertaining as fuck because we know what these guys can provide. Yeah, we're keeping it on Cesaro and Kid here, no doubt about it. Would have loved to see a Lucha Dragons matchup with Cesaro and Kid. Not getting it. This, if you could get, I think it's going to be Kofi and Big E, unfortunately. Yeah, this will be your typical, pre-show tag title match. It'll get the crowd hot. You'll have your nice little run of spots here. And that's pretty much what you'll get. But Cesaro and Kid retaining in the pre-show.
In Chicago, this new
didn't even say that.
This New Day team's going to get fucking eaten alive. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of hoping that they just boo the shit out of them. And then WWE's like, fuck, we fucked up again. If they put the tag titles on New Day, I'm going to be fucking extremely shocked. But Cesaro and Kid have to win this. And like J-Man said, the pieces are finally falling in together. And when you add Natalia on top of it, it's just pure genius of what they can do in the future and what they can do with some of these teams that are coming up or already just buried in WWE.
Right, yeah. Keep going with Cesaro and Kid and keep that connection going in the future. Just great stuff with those two. First match on the official...
I'm going to go take a dump.
Yeah, first match on the official card. We have last man standing match between the Big Show and Roman Reigns. The 787th matchup between Big Show and Roman Reigns in the past couple months. It seems like the only person that Roman Reigns faces on a weekly basis. Literally every single show, it seems like he faces the Big Show. And I think every single one, no one gives a shit. If you look at those crowd reactions, just people are like, yeah, whatever. We know it's not going to be anything good because Roman Reigns can't pull anything out of anyone at this point. And can't produce anything himself. It has to be pulled out of him from somebody else.
Pull the dick out of
literally,
the
as if anybody. It was just on Showcase at the grandest stage of them all, and you could ever see anything that Roman Reigns can do. It wasn't himself at WrestleMania. It was everybody around him making it into a great matchup because it sure as shit was not him. Just continuing the fall of the Roman Empire that never began and never will. This is where it should be, the first match of the card, even if on the card. He'll get a win here. Obviously, it's perfectly set up for Roman Reigns, dominant, last man standing over the Big Show, and so whatever the fuck they're going to do. You'll have your typical, probably, bigger spot towards the end of this matchup. It's not going to be anything fun to watch by any means. It's your typical, throw the Big Show in there with a guy that we're trying to make look like a fucking monster, and it's not working at all. One thing I do see, there's been a lot of speculation on who exactly Bray Wyatt has been talking about lately, and I believe Quaddy did call this. And over this past last night's promo on Raw, just to me it looked, because I was kind of thrown up. I was like, please don't be this person, because I was thinking the entire time too, and I'm trying to think like, can it be somebody else and not him, please? Because I just see where this ends, and I'm gonna be very, very pissed off at the end of this. Well, not at the end of this night, because it'll be enjoyable to see what happens, there. But at the end of this feud, if it ends up happening, I believe Bray Wyatt is talking about Roman Reigns with his last couple promos, and just talking about you could lift the world and all these muscles and stuff like that, but the disappointment that you have in yourself and letting yourself down and blah blah blah. It looks a lot more obvious that it's talking about Roman Reigns. Don't want to see that at fucking all. You need to get Bray Wyatt in something he could look dominant in, and this is yet another circumstance where it's probably going to end with Roman Reigns on top. And goddamn, are people going to fucking shit all over that, because it is not what they're going to want to see, and it's sure as shit not what we want to see. That is terrible. You need to get Bray Wyatt on a path that he should be going towards, and this is not the path that he should be going towards, because I do not want to see that. But unfortunately, it looks like it's probably what's going to happen. So you could probably see, a dominant performance of Roman Reigns, win the last man standing match, and you see a typical, Bray Wyatt attack where he targets somebody and takes him out, and that indicates his next feud. Unfortunately, this is where it looks like it's happening. Hopefully it's not. But I got Roman Reigns winning the last man standing match.
Have you ever had something like given to you that you cannot stand, but they keep fucking giving it to you? Like force feeding you something where you're just at the point where if I get this shit again, I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Or I'm gonna end up fucking just going flipping shit.
Right.
That's kind of how I feel with Roman Reigns. After you saw what happened at WrestleMania, everybody thought, oh, he's going to be the next big thing, he's going to be the next John Cena. And then I realized that Brock Lesnar, had to carry Roman Reigns in that match. And then you had to bring Seth Rollins in just to cap everything else off.
Yep.
I don't know, I'm just kind of getting... Either he needs to go away and come back with a new idea, or learn to wrestle, or...
That could be important.
Just go film movies.
Yeah, go do that. Yeah, there you go.
You can go live in a mountain.
just go take Paige's spot and Santa's little helper, and we could get Paige to be back on the main roster, a formidable asset to the roster. And
you could go hang out with The Rock and film Fast and Furious. You could take Paul Walker's spot.
Oh, don't do that! Come on
soon?
now, too soon, bro. This one's for Paul. It's for Paul, bro.
I'm just trying to get. He can go flip burgers at McDonald's.
He'd probably be good at that.
He probably flipped the whole grill.
Roman, order up double cheeseburger. Got it. I can just see him doing that.
We're done. We're already got our job.
There you go, buddy.
It's just at the point where if they decide to throw him in a title match again or they need to put somebody behind him. And what scares me the most is going to end up being Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman can do a lot for a guy, but he can't teach him to wrestle. Who wins this match? Nobody. It's one of those matches where you just have to take it. It's like you have to get a tooth pulled. You just have to take it. You just have to wait for it. Gotta get it through.
Quarter pounder with cheese. Believe that. Next matchup, we have the Divas Championship on the line when champion Nikki Bella goes up against Paige. Wait a minute, Nikki Bella goes up against Naomi because Paige has to go film a movie, and we're going to have Paige go over in her home country because, that's the cheap fucking pops and shit that we do, and then we have Naomi turn heel out of nowhere.
I didn't know she was face.
And then all of a sudden she's going up against, now we have a heel matchup that just looks awkward as shit that nobody wanted to see because they wanted to see Paige, coming off that tag win at WrestleMania with AJ, and then AJ retiring, just a natural progression to AJ and Nikki. But we're going to have Paige go film a movie.
Maybe Charlotte will debut.
Oh, god damn it. Just makes no fucking sense. Nikki retains. I don't want to say any more about this shit. Just fucking, yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny as shit if, Rick comes out with Charlotte and just be like, attack!
We just creamed ourselves. Just
Robert will be fucking moving off his ass.
Oh, God.
I
haven't had a Robert Woo in a while.
No.
Did you watch those NHL and NBA previews? It's all shit. It's all shit.
Good shit.
Good shit.
Charlotte wins this.
I hope. That would be tight. That would be tight.
She'll bring the Money in the Bank from NXT and
Money in the Bank. NXT Money in the Bank.
For the women's division.
Oh, motherfucker. Next up.
Awesome Call.
Oh, god damn it.
ODB.
Oh, ladies and gents. Next matchup. Yep.
So let's just skip this one.
Yep.
Let's just skip this. We can just skip this. Okay.
You know what, fellas? We got a kiss me arse match here. Yep. Kiss me fucking arse match. God damn it. With Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus. Where the winner, the loser, will have to kiss the arse of his opponent.
Okay, what's arse? Is that the ass? Or is that another
Is that like the taint, between the balls and the ass? The arse? I don't know.
Sheamus had to lift Ziggler's, ball sack and, kiss that?
God damn it. I mean...
Well...
Dolph
Ziggler's done a lot of stupid shit in WWE.
This just takes... It's it pretty much is the personification and the exact description of Dolph Ziggler's career. He goes out there, he provides a build to you, and he goes in there and he awes you in the ring, and he puts on an outstanding match, and he should deserve a prize for this. He should maybe at championships, that would be something that people go for when they earned it. World
not
championships,
just
not just handed to him.
Okay.
Championships over a long, career now that Dolph Ziggler's had. I mean, remember he was in the motherfucking Spirit Squad here, people. That's almost 10 years ago now. And worked himself up, got the character behind him, and the great in-ring work and athlete that he is. And he doesn't get a championship. He's in a kiss me arse match. Yeah.
Well, what title would you put him in?
Anything. Or any match.
True.
Besides a kiss me fucking arse match.
Ooh, I get an idea.
Just goddamn it. I mean, the match itself probably will be good if given the time, but the last, ending impression of this will be fucking terrible because it's retarded. It's just, come on, people, really. With that being said, I mean, it's all built towards Sheamus, and usually any gimmick that's built towards somebody, if you're not The Undertaker or Triple H, is probably going to go the other way. So I'll go with Dolph getting the win here. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I can't imagine them just literally having some other dude kiss some other dude's ass in 2015. We're talking in like 1998. Yeah, this would have happened in a heartbeat. It might have been just suck me ballsack match. It might have been that, and that's probably what they would have fucking did, because literally they would did anything.
Choppy, choppy!
Choppy, choppy, oh pee-pee. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen here. I don't know if maybe they have Dolph win and then Sheamus just beats him down and they continue the feud and they don't ever do it. They've been prone to deliver gimmick matches and not go through with it. I don't know. Hopefully the match can be good, but the end of it is just gonna be like, goddamn. Either way, one way or another, they don't do it, they do it. I hope they don't do it and they just continue at some form or fashion. I don't know, but I'll go with Dolph.
I don't care.
Next matchup. We have the, hopefully, Intercontinental title on the line between champion Daniel Bryan and Bad News Barrett. Obviously, a lot of this hinging on if Daniel Bryan is able to compete. They put the championship on Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania in that 7-person ladder match. There's a lot of talk of, going into it. They didn't want to put Daniel Bryan in the main event because the injury prone and this kind of thing like that. And they don't want to end up putting the title back on if he gets injured again. So we'll go ahead and put him in a 7-person ladder match because that makes a lot of sense. And then. Now he's suffering concussion problems and unable, if he's going to be medically cleared to compete now at Extreme Rules. He's been pulled from shows. The European trip he was pulled from. He's been working a lot of bigger tag matches. Remember, he worked a tag match with John Cena against Cesaro and Kidd on SmackDown last week. To where mostly his partner, whatever circumstance of the tag match he's in, works a majority of the matchup, and Bryan gets the shining spot moments towards the end and gets the pinfall or the submissions, whatever the case may be. It was kind of looking like that. Once I heard this, it made a lot more sense of how Bryan's been used lately. This is unfortunate. This is something that could be scary down the road because if you tell me right now, Daniel Bryan needs another year off to finish off his career and be able to go into the future to be healthy and the Daniel Bryan that we know of, do it. Because I don't want to see him, pull like what happened with the Punk or somebody like that, where he had these lingering injuries that just started to just wear on him and brought him down physically, mentally, whatever the case may be, and broke him down piece by piece in very small pieces to where it shortened things. I don't want to see that. None of us want to see that. None of us want to see a career of a Daniel Bryan be shortened. And that path is starting to look like it's on its way because of what happened last year after WrestleMania. Now what's happened this year, the time that he took off last year to recuperate, and now seeing these injuries that are kind of lingering and now popping up here. That's bad news, and we do not want to see that with a guy like Daniel Bryan, who is, could go down as one of the best workers, and probably still will, in our opinion, one of the best workers of all time. So we do not want to see that, and we do not want to see, that great of a guy. I mean, you don't even know the guy, but he's a great guy, and you root for him just because of who he is. Not only how immense a talent he is, and the immense worker that he is. So if needed be, take the fucking time that you need to really feel 100%. Because I don't think because the word was he was possibly going to miss this WrestleMania with the injury that he had last WrestleMania. But coming back, 4 months earlier, whatever the case may be, I can't remember what it was, to come in. And it's the drive and the will of Daniel Bryan to want to get in there and compete. He doesn't want to take that time off, but sometimes you just have to have that person you're like, this is going to be the best for your future and your ability to work further in the future. So if that's the case, don't fuck around with it. Don't, dally-dick around with injuries like that because it could be something that's going to be crucial to the rest of your career. So if that's the case, and it's something to where, they take him out backstage, like Quaddy was saying, take him out backstage or something like that, and, have it to where they don't do the match, have it to where they give it to Barrett, whatever. Like, that's fine. If that's the case where they decided, he needs more time off, just do it. Just fucking do it. It's not worth going out there and kind of having lingering things that build up onto you and, take years off your career. If the match does happen, I would probably, depending on how severe it's looking, I could see them just dropping the title back to Barrett. They should have just went with somebody else in the ladder match. I mean, that's just the case of what it should have been. Probably put it on Ziggler. I mean, Ziggler or Ambrose, one of the two. If you didn't want to keep it on Barrett, go with one of those two guys. It was an easy choice. Probably Ziggler with how hot he was going into that ladder match. But yeah, just the health of Daniel Bryan is the biggest concern out of this.
I've had 2 concussions, and they're not something to play with. Just the lingering effects, and like J-Man said, we don't want anything to happen to him in the long run, especially with the family. He's trying to grow and all that. We also don't want him to get to the point where he's like Punk and just ups and leaves. I don't see this match even starting. I don't see this match happening at all. I see WWE being, after the whole thing, after the podcast with Punk, I see WWE playing it safe, having either like a 4-way for the vacant title, do the Sheamus, Ziggler, Barrett, and then throw in probably somebody else in there that doesn't need to be in there, but doing something with that effect where we have our bases covered and Bryan can get healthy, and then in the long run we'll have Bryan for a long period in the ring. Then we'll have to deal with like the injury like Edge, where his career has to be cut short because of WWE not covering their ass. So
right. We'll see what we get out of it. There's a lot of ways they can go with it, but hopefully they go the right way, which is protecting Bryan. That's the most important thing.
That's a major investment right there.
Oh, God, without a doubt. Next match up. This is a circumstance of really the lackluster feel of this entire card. When you have a match that literally was just announced last night and got added to this card, and it's one of the most intriguing and ones we're actually looking forward to the most on this entire card. We have a Chicago street fight between Dean Ambrose and Luke Harper. That just sounds good to say. That feels very, very good to say because these guys are perfect for this. These guys have done these type, street fights, no holds barred, whatever the case may be. If you guys know the backstory behind these guys' careers and where they came from before WWE, this is what they're all about when it came to, a John Moxley and a Brody Lee. This is what these guys were all about. Now, Dean Ambrose is a guy that could go in there and do a little bit more, and I think Luke Harper has proved that he could do a little bit more as well, but this is what these guys have really grown their careers on, these gritty-ass street fight, holds barred, blood, guts type things. That's what they're all about. So I think they're going to go back to a lot of the older things that, they've learned upon from going through a lot of these matches, and they're going to deliver some fun shit here. A WWE tamed version of what you would normally get between a Dean Ambrose and a Luke Harper in a street fight, but still something, if given the time, will definitely be one of the best parts of this card. And we are thoroughly looking forward to it, so hopefully it does get some time, because these guys can go out there and deliver and beat the shit out of each other in a WWE way to make it look believable that, this shit should be called Extreme Rules, because a lot of this other shit shouldn't be called Extreme Rules. So looking forward to this. Should be some good stuff. Another undercard type thing of 2 guys that really should be doing a lot more and aren't. 2 guys that were in the ladder match back at WrestleMania. I'm going to go Dean Ambrose getting the win here, but hopefully this should be some entertaining stuff that deserves the word extreme to Extreme Rules in this pay-per-view.
When I saw this, I didn't watch Raw yet, it's on my DVR. When I saw they added this, I was very intrigued because with these 2 names and what they can do, look what they did at the ladder match, and now it's just more focused on these 2, and they have the whole blank canvas to fuck around with. So I see that possibly can steal the show.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can see this be maybe match tonight. Because I see that
it's easy possibility.
I see that steel cage, something funky monkey coming out of it, but this could be a match of the night, and everybody overlooks it because there's no title on it.
Right.
I have Ambrose win this.
Yeah. Next matchup is one that I was kind of shitting on because of the gimmick of adding it on here and the thought of what it could have been back 10 years ago. But still, I'm looking forward to this. We have the Russian Chain match for the United States Championship with champion John Cena going up against Rusev. I was telling Quaddy, and this is exactly what I felt whenever I heard this match being built. It just feels like a match that would be fucking awesome in like the years of like 2004 to 2007. I mean, if this match, because this build and this entire feud feels so much like it was with John Cena and Umaga, but a tamed PG version of what that was, because that was fucking awesome. Culminating in that outstanding, which we talked about in our last video, the Pulse 10 wrestling match types.
God, you're fucking plugging that shit like a motherfucker.
Hey, we put effort in that shit. Go check it out. We talked about the Last Man Standing match in 2007 at Royal Rumble with John Cena Umaga, which fucking was amazing. Well, one of the best John Cena matches of all time, without a doubt. And this feels like this is what that should be, but we're not going to get it. Because if that's, that's not the way they work matches anymore. That's not what we see. It's a fucking chain match. Two guys are chained to each other with like a 20-foot chain or whatever the fucking case may be, and you're not going to see any blood. You're not going to see any thought of like, yeah, these guys aren't chained together. This shit is not what it would produce in real life if this shit was these motherfuckers were chained to each other. That last man standing match in 07, they pulled it off to the potential of what you've seen in WWE, but you pulled it off in the potential of like, this is the last man standing match. That dude was the last man standing. They beat the shit out of each other. That's what it should be. These guys are chained together with a fucking chain. They have the rules to where it's pretty much like a Texas bull rope, or I guess, and it's not really a strap match. Some strap matches work like that. Most notably a Texas bull rope match, where they have to touch each four corners, and the first person to touch the last corner wins. Not typical of a chain match. I don't think they normally do that, but this is, of course, the Russian version of that. So, they touch four corners in Russia. Makes me just want to go watch that Great American Bash match with fucking JBL and Eddie now. That fucking Texas bull rope. Oh my god, that shit was nuts. Again,
isn't that where he the bad blade job?
No, that was a Judgment Day. That chair shot. There's still some blood and fucking in that one too. That was the one where they got where he was in the corner already and he just needed to touch, but like Eddie jumped over him and touched the corner really quick, and then Angle was the general manager at the time when he's coming out in the wheelchair and shit.
That's right.
Yeah, so it makes me want to go watch that again. But that's just a case of adding the color and the blood into a match. It just helps it just flourish and just come into its own. That's what they call it.
You mean like blood?
No, I meant like blood. Not in the first match we talked about. Not like that. But again, I think they can make this work, and I think they can pull it off. Again, it's a case of throwing John Cena in a gimmicked match that's made for his opponent, where John Cena will prevail. We've seen it time and time again. I mean, it's no doubt about that. But it still provides an intriguing thought as what they could deliver here. Because Rusev is obviously one of the most talented young guys they have on the roster, and John Cena is a guy who goes out there and wants to deliver. I mean, that's what we get out of John Cena now. He brings atmosphere and he brings the moment, and now he's bringing the moment and atmosphere to a mid-card title. So it's something new for him, for sure. And we forgot to say, I'm loving what they're doing with this U.S. title open challenge thing every Monday. I think it brings a pay-per-view vibe and a pay-per-view match feel to every single live show. I'm loving what they're doing. They're giving opportunities to guys that you normally don't see, in those spotlights. They had a match with John Cena and Stardust, which was fucking fantastic. You would never see a John Cena Stardust match, but now you are. So I think this is the type of thing that you're getting out of a United States title run from John Cena. You're getting opportunities to see him in there with guys that you won't be able to see him with, and it's a fresh, new feel. So I'm all for it, and I'm all for John Cena having a United States Championship right now. I'm liking what they're doing because it just feels fresh and new. But yeah, as for the case here, again, like I said, it's a gimmick towards Rusev, so it's going to go to Cena. I don't know. I think something else is in line for Rusev. I just don't see another U.S. title run. I see once he's done here with Cena, maybe moving on, hopefully to the main event scene, and maybe he can see something in the future. With some of those guys, I think Rusev and you get Rusev and Rollins in the same match, like that would be nuts. Rusev and Randy, I mean that'd be some fun stuff to see, down the road. A Rusev Lesnar match, God, that would be carnage. That would be some fun stuff to see. So a lot of fresh stuff we could see possibly for Rusev, and a guy that has come to flourish as an outstanding young talent on this roster, and great to see. But looking forward to see what they deliver here. Again, wish it was 2007 for this matchup because it would be a hell of a lot more entertaining is what they could actually deliver here. But I'm going to go with Cena retain the United States Championship.
I see the complete opposite of happening. I see them just destroy the fucking piss out of each other. Just the way they have all this built up and the storyline and everything, how they fucking finally should do. This is a fucking stepping stone feud. I don't see this ending here. I see Cena retaining, but I see blood. Not a little blood. I see them fucking just destroy each other. So.
Be fucking awesome. That's what I want to see for sure. I just don't know. Probably not gonna do it.
But hold on. With that open challenge, it feels like the old Kurt Angle open challenge, and it would be a lot better if he did this. I completely agree with J-Man on some of these guys that don't get used. It would be so much better if he went down to like the NXT live pay-per-view and does it there, because then you get to see him face some of these younger guys. And to see the fight for some of these young guys, they are on the border of coming up and staying down. And then John Cena is the face of the company. Who knows how long he'll be there? But then you can see how
the guy can work with Cena, and if they can work with Cena, they can work with anybody. So
right, loving what they're doing with that open challenge, just providing opportunities for matches and providing opportunities for guys to go up against John Cena and look equal in a lot of positions. You had Stardust look like he was going to beat John Cena, and that automatically makes it to where like, holy shit, nothing could happen or anything could happen here. So, liking what they're doing with that, good stuff, and hopefully they could be some good stuff for that Russian chain match. Next up, we have the main event. It's a mouthful here. We have the steel cage matchup for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship with Kane as a special guest gatekeeper, and with the Randy Orton's RKO being banned. We have Seth Rollins champion versus Randy Orton. Holy fucking gimmicked overbooked fest with that. Jesus. A lot of stuff going on with Rollins and Kane. Adding Kane as the gatekeeper, whatever the fuck. Having Tripp come back in and kind of settle everybody down. And Randy. Trick came out last night. He announced the Tough Enough stuff.
yeah.
Tough Enough coming back, I think June 23rd. 10 guys, 5 women. And it looked like it's going to be like a legit version of like the original Tough Enough, so not like independent talent like they kind of use it, like legit, like just people off the fucking street that are trying to be wrestlers. So
The independent scene was good, but it just seemed like they overlooked those guys.
Oh yeah, they didn't give Austin Aries an opportunity on Tough Enough.
Yeah, I forgot.
So you're telling me like Austin Aries? Okay, you're retarded. One of the best workers in the world.
Where is he at now?
Yeah, exactly. Still one of the best workers in the world, no matter where he is.
Now he's fucking waiting for his paycheck to clear.
So you have the Rollins and Kane stuff going on. Kind of the dissension inside the Authority. Randy Orton loving everything that he's been doing lately, loving the way he's being booked. Again, just coming off not the slow, malicious Viper bullshit where he's just kind of like sneaky. Like, he's just Randy Orton. Like, hey, what's up? I'm just going to go the entire night and just RKO whoever the fuck I want, no matter where they're at. I love that. I love when you could have start the show. Stone Cold did it back in the Attitude Era where he just went around, I think before the Rumble in 1998, where he just went around just fucking stunnering everybody, and it was fucking awesome. And just everywhere he went, and he did the whole thing with Jarrett, where Jarrett was sitting there and doing his whole thing, and then he stunnered Jarrett, did the strut and everything like that. That shit's just entertaining. I mean, they started the show with Randy. He's fired up, all pissed off and shit like that once he gets his hands on Rollins. He's like, I'm just going to fucking go RKO whoever the fuck I want ever until I get to you and then RKO you at the end of the night. So I think he came in after the Miz beat Mizdow and RKO'd the Miz. He RKO'd, I think, either Kofi or Xavier Woods from the New Day after they got a win. RKO'd Heath Slater in the back, and he's like counting all the people that he's RKO'd. I just love that. I thought that was awesome. That's quintessential, just fun face version of Randy Orton of what you get, in a 2015, where you've seen all the different characters he's played, but now he's just kind of just doing his own type of thing. And I think that's more prone to what we saw when he left before Survivor Series this past year, where he was on fire with that face run, turning out of the Authority, and I think he's getting back on track to that. They don't think he's to it yet, but I think he's getting back on track to where people are starting to kind of look at that just like, I just don't give a shit. I'm just going to take out whoever I want and, be that kind of anti-hero type thing, which is great for a face, Randy Orton. So I'm loving everything they're doing with that. I totally lost my train of thought. I had something else I was going to say. But yeah, so good stuff with those two, what they're building up here. Rollins, god damn it. Every fucking time, then they were, it happened with Randy when he was heel. They have the cowering heel champion, and I fucking hate that. I hate that build because you build this guy up and he's the shit, just like how Randy was when he was built up, and then he gets the championship, and then he just turns into a cowering just pussy. Like, why do you do that? Why do you want to have your guy that you put the championship on every single week on TV look like a giant bitch? That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. You know this guy's the shit, so you put him in there, and then you're like, yeah, this guy's the shit. Oh, wait, but he's hiding behind fucking Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury because he's too scared of, Randy Orton, who, it's like, what? Like, stop being a bitch. Like, stop doing that. Stop making people look like a bitch. He's not a bitch, but what I'm saying is you're making him come off as a bitch, and it's just, they did the same thing to Randy Orton. Randy Orton, who went around saying he has fucking IED and is like literally like a fucking serial killer, and when he was in the Authority, he was like a pussy. Like, what? What the fuck are you doing? That's ridiculous. Have Seth Rollins be that young, upstart, cocky fucking heel that's not scared of anything because he's not smart enough to know he's scared of anything. He just goes like Randy Orton was when he first started out. He got his ass kicked, but he was going into every fight not giving a shit and knowing that he was gonna, give as much as he got. I mean, why do you do that? Stupid as shit. Why? Because you're going to enjoy him? You're going to like what he's doing more? Yeah, but you can still have him be a great heel. Like, stupid. I fucking hate that. And this entire match is built upon Seth Rollins being a pussy. That's what they're trying to get across. They're like, well, we're going to put him in a cage with Randy Orton because we know that pussy ass will run away if he's not in a cage. And, you know, we're going to have Kane be the gatekeeper because they can't get along. It's like, come on now. Yeah, so the match, it's Seth Rollins and Randy Orton inside of a cage. Can't really that's what I was going to say. The RKO that ended the night where he was trying to climb out and he flipped his leg. You haven't seen it yet, have you?
No.
Oh, it's beautiful. Just like Seth Rollins may be now like the best like go into an RKO like person ever. Like he literally like laid out, but he laid out like 10 feet in the air and then came down into the RKO. Like he was like Randy was jumping for the RKO and he was up here and had to like come down to like meet him. It was disgusting. So yeah, we'll probably see a lot more of that. You know, something into another. Well, we guess we can't see the RKO now. I just about to say it because it's being banned. You'll obviously see hints of it. Who knows if a ref gets knocked down, whatever the case may be, and then we see it. Whatever the fuck. I mean, there'll probably be an RKO being hit sometime in this night. Anytime it's banned. I remember the best use of banning a finisher was at Survivor Series in 2007 with Shawn Michaels and Randy Orton with their title matchup where the Sweet Chin Music was banned. Shawn came in like hot as a fucking firecracker off their return in 2007. I remember they did the thing. Do you remember when Randy Orton was like celebrating like a win or something like that, and he stood on the podium and Shawn came out and just looked like with a beard, just looked like hard as fuck. I just remember I was marking out just because of just how badass Shawn Michaels looked in there. It just came in. That was around the time where every single end of Raw ended with the Sweet Chin Music to Randy Orton, and then they banned it, and then they went into that pay-per-view in 2007 Survivor Series, and I love that whole year. The whole year's a lot of fun. Went into that, and they had that finish where Shawn was going for the sweet and realized he couldn't do it, and then went straight in, and Randy realized it and went straight into the RKO for the finish. It was fucking brilliant. Love that match. It was like the best utilization of like getting that over the where you can't use a finisher. So hopefully we'll see shades of that, obviously, with these two uber talented total J-Man guys here. Again, will deliver even more so with what we saw at WrestleMania with their great matchup, and just continuing that now with the championship, which is what we said at WrestleMania. Hopefully see that. And again, Quaddy called this one with the cage. So yeah, hopefully inside we could get some great work, get some time to these guys, because it's gonna fucking deliver if you get the time. And it's just fresh feel, obviously with Seth Rollins as a champion, to get the championship on every single pay-per-view, and to get a guy that can work with absolutely anybody, and get him in there with Randy Orton. That's about the best you can do there. So definitely looking forward to this, seeing what we get out of the finish of it. Seth Rollins is coming out as champion, no doubt about that. There's no way he's not champion until Brock Lesnar comes back, whatever they end up doing with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins in the future, but it's going to happen sometime or another, SummerSlam possibly. I'm going with Rollins, getting the win here. The finish is probably going to be funky as shit with so much shit surrounding it, the RKO being banned, Kane out there as the gatekeeper. There are going to be people trying to come out, obviously, to help, I guess, probably. J&J, I would think, but there's going to be a lot of shenanigans towards the end of this. Hopefully they can get a great matchup in before that. Seth Rollins, still your WWE World Champion.
I see this match being pure chaos. I see good work at the beginning, and then Orton starts getting going, and then some bullshit, or J&J, or Kane, or somebody, or some funky monkey, or Brad Maddox is reffing, where we have some crazy bullshit, and Seth Rollins bitches his way out.
How do you feel after your rant there, guy?
I feel good. I needed to get that out. I
figure that.
I don't like the way they're doing this either. I think J-Man hit every point that we've talked about over this. I don't need to repeat him. I'm not going to repeat him. So I'm just going to say I see Rollins winning this, and then this feud continuing, which I'm completely cool with, because if they stop this and do something stupid with like a person that doesn't deserve it, I see a lot of people turning on the whole WWE shit, because what they have going now is moving like wildfire. And if you pull Randy Orton out of this, fuck, Randy may just leave the way, because if you think about it, this is but the best thing that's been going for the world title in
quite some time.
A very long time, and the best two guys that can work together very well.
Yeah.
We've seen the Lesnar thing about 15,000 times, kind of done with that. We've seen a lot of other bullshit they try to force feed us.
Yeah, this kind of has the shades and feel of like how we felt back when back when Punk was champion when they feuded him with Bryan.
Yeah.
It really has that, where it's just so fresh, and it's like we've seen it before, but we haven't seen Rollins and Randy anywhere before except for, fucking WrestleMania's first time, but it just feels like this is going to be awesome.
And it feels like with these two working together, it's like a puzzle pieces that are forming so well together.
Right.
Because if you have like a fucking Lesnar and somebody else, it's just like the person has to carry Lesnar.
But now Lesnar is just provides such a moment with Lesnar now. It's just like you want to see whatever carnage happens now. Where before it was like you have to have him in there with the right guy, and now they were putting him in there with the right guy, and now you just want to see more of it because it's just mass chaos.
And right now it's just more of a wait and see with Lesnar.
Right.
It seems like he's just trying to figure out the perfect person to work with him.
Right.
And this match is going to be the second match of the night. I still call Chicago 35 being number one.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Because if they give this time and they don't have any fucking horse shit with it, it could be the match. There's too much shit going on between these two matches. Chicago Street Fight is just because it's just two great guys working. This match is just because there's so much on the line.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And two great guys working as well, too.
I want to go play out.
I do, too. But yeah, hopefully we can get some good stuff out of this. Hopefully they pull a lot of the things the right way, pull off a lot of things the right way, I should say. But there's some stuff they can deliver, but it just seems like another typical WWE pay-per-view where stuff will deliver, stuff will be shit, and it'll be good, okay, I guess. But yeah, be sure to check out our review after the pay-per-view on Sunday. But yeah, I guess that's about it. So we'll wrap up our
Not gonna do
WWE.
another video in 2 days.
No, I guess we're done for videos until Sunday. This will wrap up our WWE Extreme Rules 2015 preview. For my partner Quaddy, I am J-Man, and thank you for watching another edition of Pro Wrestling Pulse, the Pulse, Professional Wrestling World.
Let's go Blues!